Have you ever heard someone wish a performer good luck before they walk out onto a stage? If you have, there is a good chance they did not say good luck at all. Instead, they probably said something that sounds a little strange, maybe even alarming when you hear it for the first time. They probably said break a leg. And if you have ever stopped to think about those 3 words, you may have wondered, why on earth would anyone say that? It does not seem like a friendly thing to say to someone who is about to perform in front of an audience. In fact, when you hear it out of context, break a leg sounds rather negative, even unkind. And you would be right to notice that the phrase does not logically convey the true meaning behind it at all. If someone is nervous, excited, and about to step into the spotlight, telling them to break a leg sounds more like a threat than a warm wish. So where did this phrase come from? Why do we say it? And what does it actually mean? Today, we are exploring the curious and colorful history behind those 3 unusual words, right here on the Lost History of Everyday Things. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. First, let us start with what the phrase actually means today. When someone tells a performer to break a leg, they are wishing them a great performance. It is a way of saying good luck without actually saying good luck. In the world of theater especially, saying good luck directly is considered bad luck. Yes, you heard that correctly. Wishing someone good luck in a theater is thought to bring the opposite. So performers, directors, and crew members developed their own way of wishing each other well without using those 2 words. Break a leg became the accepted alternative, but why this phrase specifically? That is where the history gets truly fascinating. There is no single agreed-upon origin for break a leg. In fact, researchers, language historians, and theater scholars have debated its roots for many years. What we do know is that the phrase became widely used in the world of Western theater, particularly in the 20th century. But several different theories trace it back even further, to times and places you might not expect. One of the most popular theories connects the phrase to ancient Greek theater. In ancient Greece, audiences did not clap to show appreciation the way we do today. Instead, they stomped their feet on the ground to show that they enjoyed a performance. If the audience stomped hard enough and long enough, it was possible for a person to break the leg of a wooden stool they were seated on. So when a performer gave a spectacular show and the crowd erupted in enthusiastic foot stomping, the hope was that they would literally break a leg from the floor. In this sense, wishing someone to break a leg was wishing them such a wonderful performance that the audience would be moved to express wild approval. It is a colorful idea, though historians note that the evidence connecting this directly to the modern phrase is not fully established. Another theory takes us to the world of Elizabethan theater in England during the 1500s and 1600s. During this era, performers only received their pay if they actually made it onto the stage. The edge of the stage wings, those areas just off to the side where actors wait before entering, were framed by long curtains. These curtain rods or supporting poles were sometimes called legs. To break a leg, in this context, meant to go beyond those curtains, to cross through them and step out onto the stage itself. If you broke a leg, meaning you crossed through that boundary, it meant you had actually performed and therefore earned your payment. Wishing someone to break a leg was essentially wishing them a successful appearance. This theory ties the phrase neatly to the practical realities of theatrical life in earlier centuries. A third theory comes from the world of vaudeville and early American stage performance in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Vaudeville was a popular form of live entertainment featuring singers, comedians, dancers, and variety acts. Competition for stage time was fierce. Many performers would show up hoping to be called on, but not all of them would get the chance to perform. If you were good enough to actually be invited to bend your knee and bow or curtsy at the end of a show, it meant you had earned applause. Bending the knee or breaking the line of the leg was a physical gesture of success. In this reading, telling someone to break a leg was telling them to bow, which you could only do if the audience had received you warmly. It was a wish wrapped in a gesture. There is yet another layer to this history worth exploring. Some language scholars point to a common superstition in theater that runs deeper than any single phrase. The idea is rooted in what performers call reverse superstition, or tempting fate in reverse. The belief goes that if you wish for something good directly, you are inviting bad luck. But if you say something that seems bad, fate is tricked into giving you good things instead. This kind of thinking appears in many cultures around the world. The theater world took it and made it its own. Break a leg, in this light, is a way of fooling fortune. You say the opposite of what you want in hopes that the universe delivers the real thing. This belief was so deeply woven into theatrical culture that a whole family of phrases grew up around it. In opera, performers traditionally say in bocca al lupo, which is Italian for into the mouth of the wolf. The response is crepi il lupo, meaning may the wolf die. In German theatrical tradition, saying Hals- und Beinbruch, which roughly translates to neck and leg break, serves a similar purpose. The idea of inverting a wish to protect against bad luck is not unique to English-speaking theater at all. It stretches across languages and cultures, all of them united by the belief that direct good wishes carry a kind of dangerous weight. Now, it is worth pausing here to acknowledge what most of us feel when we first hear this phrase. Break a leg does not seem like a kind or encouraging thing to say. When you strip it of its context and history, it genuinely does sound strange. Imagine hearing it for the very first time with no knowledge of theater traditions. Someone backstage, moments before a performer walks out to face hundreds of watching eyes, leans over and says, "Break a leg." The phrase seems rather negative. It lands oddly. It carries the image of injury, of pain, of something going terribly wrong. And yet, within the world it belongs to, it carries warmth, encouragement, and a kind of professional camaraderie that performers have shared for generations. Context, as always, changes everything. This gap between what the phrase says and what it means is also a wonderful reminder of how language works. Words do not always carry their meanings on the surface. Language evolves, phrases take on new lives, and traditions shape the way communities speak to one another. The phrase does not logically convey the true meaning, and that is precisely what makes it so interesting. It is a riddle built into everyday speech. It is proof that human beings are creative, superstitious, and deeply invested in the rituals that bind them together, especially in moments of vulnerability like standing in the wings before the lights come on. The first written appearances of break a leg in the context of good luck are generally traced to the early to mid-20th century. Some researchers point to references in American theater and entertainment circles from the 1920s and 1930s. Others suggest it may have come into broader use even earlier, but was not written down in sources that have survived. Language often travels by word of mouth for a long time before it is captured in print. By the middle of the 20th century, the phrase was widely understood in theater circles and had begun to spread into everyday language more broadly. Today, break a leg has traveled far beyond the stage. People say it to students before exams, to athletes before competitions, to presenters before important meetings, and to anyone stepping into a moment that matters. It has become a general expression of encouragement that most people understand even if they have never thought about where it came from. Like many phrases we use every day, it carries its history quietly, tucked inside itself without announcing it. There is something beautifully human about all of this. A tradition born from superstition, from ancient audiences and wooden stage legs and bowing performers, has traveled across centuries and continents to become a simple, familiar expression of support. The theaters have changed, the performances have changed, and the audiences have changed. But people still gather in the wings before they step out into something brave and uncertain. And someone still leans over and says those three little words. So the next time someone tells you to break a leg, or you find yourself saying it to a friend before their big moment, remember that you are taking part in a tradition that stretches back through centuries of human performance and storytelling. You are borrowing words shaped by ancient Greeks stomping on wooden stools, by Elizabethan actors pushing through velvet curtains, by vaudeville performers hoping for one more bow. You are participating in the long, strange, wonderful history of language itself. Thank you for watching this episode. If you have thoughts or suggestions for upcoming videos, please share them in the comments section. Thank you for being a part of this episode exploring the lost history of everyday things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for future episodes exploring the history that mystifies and puzzles us when we stop to think about it.